We all dread the day our nightmares come to life. There is no end to the horrors that our mind creates. A cold, chilling reminder that real monsters are not under our beds, nor hiding in our closets. Rather, they are inside of us all. But what if your darkest fears exited from the shadowy depths of your subconscious and became reality? What if you went to bed one night and woke up the next morning completely Chinese? That is the dark and twisted reality of Cheng Ji, better known online as JamesCageWhite. A man who has found himself in a never-ending nightmare.
You say, what is fate? This is fate. I can't change anything. There's nothing I can do, bro.
On October 15, 1984, a tiny Chinese baby was born to Chinese parents in Chongqing, China. Chongqing, China is a city best known for being visited by world-renowned streamer IShowSpeed.
I don't know who's the imposter, but I think I got Riz.
Not much is known about Cheng Ji's early life, although he has at times reflected fondly upon his youth. I had a dream yesterday night. I dreamed of my childhood. I was very, very happy then. I never thought I will be like this when I grow up. Sad. Ultimately, his childhood is unimportant due to its extremely Chinese nature. What is important is a day we all remember, a day that would change Cheng Ji's fate forever. On September 11, 2001, the World Trade Center was attacked. To this day, the event ripples throughout the timeline of both American and human history. In 2006, almost 5 years later, the film World Trade Center, featuring Nicolas Cage, was released. A film that some speculate may have been inspired by the tragedy. It is likely that Cheng Ji saw this movie and admired the performance of Nicolas Cage, and had a very chilling revelation that deep inside his Chinese heart was a white man waiting to burst free. On that day, Cheng Ji died, and from the ashes, JamesCageWhite emerged. But how did he come up with such a name? James is from James Bond. Cage is from Nicolas Cage. White is from white women. I combined them together and made it my name. Very cool, very swag. I like it. I'm good at naming. Thanks so much for support. Shortly after learning about 9/11, James enrolled in Sichuan University, where he earned his bachelor's degree in English. This was his first step in assimilating himself with the white race, hoping that his newly acquired Aryan-speaking capabilities would benefit him in his plight of finding a white woman to have white babies with. According to his LinkedIn profile, after graduating university, he spent the next 4 years and 8 months self-employed, with his job being, I like watch FNN, at I work for myself. Afterwards, he found himself working as a receptionist at the Bateman City Hotel, beginning in August of 2012. 5 months later, the now-defunct social media app Vine was released for public use, which would alter the landscape of the internet, both for better and for worse. Although for James, Vine would change his life forever. Considering that Vine had a large user base in the United States, home of Blancus Foidius, better known as the White Woman, he began posting videos to the platform with no real sense of creative direction. Rather than posting the standard skit or joke, James would just post whatever he happened to be doing at that particular moment.
The second ice cream I eat, very good. I like it ice cream. Good.
James, of course, would post plenty of videos making it clear that he was single and available for all prospective white women watching his content to be wed and subsequently bred by him.
Single, I'm handsome. I want to find a girlfriend here. Please help me. Thank you so much. Check out this car. I'm looking for a white woman.
Of course, James would also use his platform to show off his many skills, such as using a hula hoop, smelling pineapples, standing on one leg for a very long time, and counting.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 17.
Most useful of his skills, however, was his beautiful singing voice, which he used to seduce potential female partners who might be browsing his page.
Everybody, rock your body. Everybody, rock your body.
Ultimately, a majority of James's eventual following would not be beautiful white women to have Chinese babies with. Rather, they were mostly people who enjoyed laughing at this random Chinese guy speaking in broken English. And thanks to a handful of notable quips and behaviors, James's platform would only continue to grow. One of James's favorite catchphrases was,
very cool, very swag, I like it. Hi guys, check out my iPad Air. Very good, very cool, very swag, very handsome, I like it.
Vine would eventually shut down and other creators would find refuge on adjacent platforms. There were a few options to pick from. Some creators went to Instagram, where they made relatable sketch comedy content that touched on deep subject matters, such as scuffing your Jordan sneakers, hitting the Quan, stealing a person's girlfriend, and eating watermelon. The other option was YouTube, a platform that allowed its creators to set their homes on fire and film dead bodies, with little to no repercussion. Neither of these choices were ideal. However, James still managed to choose an even worse option: X, the everything app, formerly known as Twitter. Today, Twitter is full of rage bait farming Indians pretending to be white Americans, making as much money as possible while rotting the skeleton of American politics. Although this was not the case in early 2017, as it had no monetization features available. As mind-boggling a decision this was, James likely got the best possible outcome from this situation, as he quickly amassed thousands of followers on the platform, and it was on Twitter that many of James's habits and eccentricities were put on full display. Of course, his standard, very cool, very swag, I like it catchphrase was ever present, although a handful of other key staples of James's online persona would manifest, namely his frequent and ongoing participation in the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, a viral trend from 2014 that sought to raise awareness for ALS disease. James participated in this challenge back when it was still hot, and it appears he received a positive reaction from this contribution. It's likely due to this success that James has done the Ice Bucket Challenge dozens of times, in the hopes of once again gaining virality. James has also created alternate versions of the Ice Bucket Challenge, such as the Soup Bucket Challenge, Milk Bucket Challenge, Stone Bucket Challenge, Computer Bucket Challenge, and many more. Hi guys, I'm doing Grapes Bucket Challenge. I'm a Roman noble. Very fun, very interesting. I like it. Another one of James's efforts to gain virality is doing the Gangnam Style, a popular dance move that is featured in the music video for the song Gangnam Style by PSY. James does the Gangnam Style dance for the same reason that he does the Ice Bucket Challenge, hoping that doing a popular trend 10 years after its expiration date will net him the same attention it had once got him. Oftentimes, James will do the Gangnam Style after doing the Ice Bucket Challenge, combining them in hopes of boosting the video's potential virality even further. The bright side is that James's continued efforts have likely saved the lives of thousands of children suffering from ALS. This segues perfectly into another one of James's frequent euphemisms, that being rewards. Drinking milk as reward. I am eating strawberries as reward. Very yummy, very tasty. I like it. I am taking sunbath as reward. I'm a hygienic guy. I'm a musician. I'm playing piano as reward. I'm dancing as reward. James also refers to doing the various bucket challenges and the Gangnam Style as rewards. As to what James has done to deserve such rewards is uncertain. One of James's favorite rewards are Steam games. In November 2023, James revealed that he owned over 170 games on Steam, a number that has undoubtedly ballooned to over 300 as of the recording of this video. Despite having very little money, James constantly finds himself uncontrollably purchasing games on Steam. So much so that if he manages to go more than one day without buying a game on Steam, James will shower himself with praise, calling himself a savings guy. He will also document himself finding more cost-effective ways to have fun, such as practicing the piano or learning the Russian language. Of course, if James keeps up this behavior for a long period of time, he is undoubtedly deserving of a reward in the form of a brand new Steam game, continuing the unbreakable cycle he has found himself trapped in. Undoubtedly, James feels great shame when he purchases a new game on Steam, often justifying it as an investment. But if you can't do that, there is one universal truth James will point to justify his poor decision. Everything is fate. People don't have free will. So I bought a Steam game. It's not my free will, it's my fate. Fate is something that James frequently references as the root source of all of his anguish. Fate is why he cannot go to America. Fate is the reason he gets bitten by mosquitoes. Fate is the reason he will never own a Nintendo Switch 2. Fate is the reason he is totally not balding. And worst of all, fate is the reason why he will never have a white girlfriend. Everything is fate. I don't have girlfriend, that's my fate. There's nothing I can do. All of these tropes and mannerisms have undoubtedly contributed to the allure of his online persona, but his righteous love quest and frequent hopes of finding a white girlfriend have easily been the most interesting. James's history with women has been a long-running test of trial and error, with him having immense difficulty in finding a suitable partner. In the beginning, he tried the old-fashioned way, going on dates with women and hoping to attract them with his personality. This This did not go well. On January 26, 2018, James managed to convince a woman to go to the movie theater with him. However, things would quickly take a dark turn. Sorry guys, I break up with that girl completely. We go to cinema to watch movie. I want to hold her hand. She didn't allow. She thought it's too early to hold hand. I thought it's nonsense. It's excuse. She doesn't want me. So I leave cinema alone while movie is playing. This disgusting Foyd decided for whatever reason she was too good to hold James's hand. And reasonably, he made a huge scene and left the theater. However, as the days went on, James began to regret his decision. Be too honest. I still like the girl I left in the cinema. Sometimes I want to get her back. When I'm sleeping, I'm thinking of her. I can't forget her. She doesn't like me at all. I like her very much. I look down upon myself. Maybe I should find someone better. Then I can forget her. I'm tired in the bed. I should get the girl I left in the cinema back. Should I apologize to her and say I won't do that again and get her back? Or shouldn't? I can't predict the future. I don't know what to do. My mother doesn't like her very much because she is not tall. James's deference to his mother's opinion is something that you'll notice is quite common. On a different date with a separate girl, James announced that his mother had called her ugly and fat. James's relationship with his mother is quite tenuous, as in another post he would show a bruise on his arm, with a caption explaining that he had made his mother very angry. The reason James put so much time and effort into finding a suitable girlfriend is likely due to his mother's overbearing presence in his life. Despite being in his late 30s, things were seeming hopeless for James, and so his mother had no choice but to take things into her own hands. Mortal Delight is a dating show based in Chongqing, China, that James, as well as his mother, would make an appearance in. In the introductory interview, his mother claims to have come with James despite his wishes to go alone. She goes on to describe James as elegant, devoted to his parents, and says that he is incapable of making women happy. James went on to list the things he was looking for in a prospective partner. These requirements are as follows: 28 to 34 years old, around 5'2", a kind and gentle personality, and a, quote, dignified appearance. Surprisingly, James does not mention being white as one of his requirements, likely due to the relatively low population of white women in China. Based on these requirements, the Mortal Delight team selected a young woman named Zhai Tiantian. James's mother already had issues with this kind Chinese lady, mainly due to her age being only 26, which made her concerned that perhaps she was not ready for a quick marriage. Regardless, the two finally met, and James romantically offered her a small cup of water. He also rated her a 9 out of 10, something that most women would be ecstatic to hear. James made a great first impression, and even asked his date if she would like him to rub her feet with lotion and oils, to which she politely declined.
No.
However, according to the transcription, James's mother couldn't resist making an appearance, and she sat in on her son's date. Things only continued to go downhill, as James's date began to get annoyed with him frequently serving her food that was not thoroughly cooked, saying that he, quote, lacks common sense. It's revealed that the woman didn't even like meat, as James continued to put piece after piece of uncooked beef on her plate, despite her wishes. This, paired together with the fact that his mother inserts herself into every aspect of his life, Zhai Tiantian believed that he relied on his mother to do everything for him. Unfortunately, this relationship would never go any further. Becoming even more desperate, James began looking for other methods of finding love, going as far as enlisting the services of a marriage arrangement company. I paid a lot of money, $1,000, to the marriage arrangement company to introduce girlfriend to me. They introduced 18 girls. No one succeeded, and today they say my service is running out. My $1,000 is wasted. I spend a lot of money finding girlfriend. I feel bad. Fortunately, fate would smile upon James, as after a year of searching, in mid-2021, he had finally hit the jackpot. I have found a girlfriend recently. I will show her photos soon. I mean, maybe in a week or in a month. I will marry her soon. Thanks for support, everyone. James's fans patiently waited with bated breath for the big reveal, which would come just over a week later. Hi guys, check out my girlfriend. Very beautiful, very nice. I like it. It's fate. She becomes my girlfriend. I will cherish her forever. Despite not being white, James's fans celebrated this monumental occasion. And 2 months later, in June, James and his wife officially got married. Things were clearly looking up for the CageWhite family, but only briefly. Something I have yet to bring up is James's frequent bouts of diarrhea, known as fu xia in Chinese. Whenever James gets diarrhea, or as he sometimes refers to it, an ellipses with 4 dots, he drinks medicine as reward. In June, around the time of his wedding, drinking. James received a severe case of the diarrhea bucket challenge. When informing his loyal fans of this event, he began discussing the possibility of his child being part of the LGBT community. Drinking medicine again, 2 times a day. If my child is gay or lesbian, I will educate him or her. Maybe I will beat him. I will try my best to make him back to normal. If still doesn't work, I have to accept the fate. My wife may not accept the fate though. Many of his fans were not happy with this and demanded an apology, but James tried to clarify his intentions. I said maybe I will beat him. It's just possibility. Maybe I won't. I'm not wrong. My fans and I live in different countries. We have different cultures. Gay marriage is illegal here. You guys can't understand me. It's fate. I just want my child to be a normal person. I don't want my child to be a different person, like LGBT. How is that wrong? I don't care what other people are LGBT or not. I just want my child to be normal. How is this wrong? I said nothing wrong. I will never accept a LGBT child. The woke mob had enough, and they began attacking James's sources of income, namely his Teespring shop, verycoolveryswag.com. This woke attack was extremely successful, and James was permanently banned from using the web service. Everything is fate. It's not in our hands. Just like Teespring banned me forever, I can't control and change my fate. Other people control your fate, not yourself. People did bad things is fate. They get punished is also fate. There is no free will exists. I sell t-shirt on Teespring. That's my fate. Because I am poor guy. I have to make money to live. If I was born in a rich family, like former President Donald Trump, I won't care about Teespring at all. People have no free will, all controlled by physics and chemistry laws. This news greatly disappointed James's mother, as he now had no source of income. I told my mother that Teespring blocked me, and I can no longer sell t-shirts. She is very, very angry. I'm sorry to my mother. She looks after my father all the time, and I disappointed her a lot. There was still hope for James, however, and it came in the form of an alcoholic Australian man named Max Mofo, who suggested he create an account on Cameo, an app for celebrities to create and sell custom videos for their fans.
Hey, Walt, you seen the news? Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is under investigation because of some, complaints about missing children. Me and Gomez are interrogating one of the owners, William Afton.
This was advice James took to heart, and it seems to have worked quite well for him. However, this new line of work created complications for James, as language barriers have made him unsure if he is saying anything distasteful or offensive. Phrases that he's been afraid to say include Hawk Tua, I am Mr. Beast, Shake Your Big Fanny, and Dave Blunts. Language barriers continued to cause issues for James. In another example, shortly after his wedding, James celebrated with some delicious watermelon as reward. This is when Max Mofo returned with a new suggestion, encouraging James to put the remaining watermelon seeds inside of his penis. Although no archives of this tweet exist, this greatly upset James, and Max Mofo was quickly blocked. Max said something very rude to me. I will never forgive him. I was eating watermelon as reward. Max told me to put seeds inside my penis, which angered me a lot. They all say it's a joke. I think it's very disturbing and disgusting and disrespectful. Do you think I should unblock him? James also informed his mother of this disturbing encounter, which she responded by telling him to simply ignore the mean Australian man. Regardless of the trying times he might face, they didn't matter because he finally had a wife to call his own and perhaps a tiny Chinese baby in the future. In January of 2022, James made a trip with his wife to visit her parents and quote sped lunatic New Year with them. At first, everything was going well, with his in-laws offering him yummy food as reward. And after some time, James would announced that his wife was pregnant with a small Chinese fetus. With this future child on the way, James began requesting donations from his audience to assist in raising his offspring, but a jealous hater pointed out that he shouldn't try to raise a child when he's broke. This is when James revealed that he had spent all of his money after paying his father-in-law $10,000 in exchange for his daughter's hand in marriage. This is likely why James began having issues with his father-in-law, who came to the conclusion that James was a fat, unemployed loser with no money, and began threatening to end the marriage. My father-in-law doesn't like me. He says I don't respect him. He is very angry with me. My wife threatens divorce if I don't get along well with her father. I live with my wife and her parents right now, and I'm not get along well with her father. For the next couple of weeks, James found himself in a perpetual cycle of fighting with his father-in-law, apologizing to his father-in-law, and then having banana as reward. Although things did start to get better, as the two began bonding over their shared alcoholism.
Drinking beer with father-in-law.
Although they would eventually go back to fighting over the child's name. James wanted to name his son Charles Peter White. Charles for King Charles, Peter for Peter Griffin, and White for white women. Some of the most loyal fans of James Cage White often refer to Charles Peter as CP, with them expressing their love for CP and wanting to ensure that the police do not take James's CP away from him. It's assumed that both his wife and father-in-law wanted to name the child something more traditional and Chinese. This was a line too far, and James began threatening divorce as he became increasingly frustrated with the situation. Father-in-law's given name for the kid is so stupid and dumb. Even my mother doesn't like it, but she doesn't want me to divorce with wife. Kid will have no father or mother. Kid with single parent is very miserably. Once the child was finally born, James was ecstatic, celebrating with a shirtless picture of him flexing his large muscles for the camera. Although things were only going to get worse. The debate over what to name the child became such a tumultuous situation that his wife had threatened to take their newborn child's life by jumping out of a window. Ultimately, it appears that the couple came to an agreement that the baby would be given a proper Chinese name, and James could simply call him Charles Peter if he liked. Unfortunately, James would not have much time to watch CP or to breed his wife any further. On February 2nd of 2023, a somber message sent shivers through the James Cage White community. Divorce. There are likely many reasons James's wife decided to divorce him, with James pointing out that he is, quote, not good at sex. James cherished his CP until their final moment together, and to this day, James has not seen CP since. He then created a poll on his Twitter account, asking his audience who they believed to be responsible for his marriage falling apart. However, he quickly deleted it after it became clear that most people blamed him. Around this time, James posted a video of himself dancing to the beat of Billie Jean by Michael Jackson in extremely tight pants. Because of the compact nature of his trousers, a noticeable protrusion can be observed, which flops and flails about with his aggressive dancing, although it remains unknown what this is. Since the dissolution of his marriage, things have slowed down for James, but he certainly hasn't given up his search for true love. Here he can be seen holding an advertisement to be his girlfriend, reminiscent of the infamous tactic the lolcow Chris Chan used to attract women. When this didn't work, James took a trip to Russia, where it is presumed he had sex with a prostitute. James theorized that due to the mass amount of casualties in the Ukrainian war, that perhaps he could find a freshly widowed Russian woman to marry, although this didn't seem to pan out.
Hi, hello everyone, how are you doing?
To this day, James continues to post on Twitter, where he manages to support himself through a combination of Cameo, live streaming, and t-shirt sales, this time no longer working with Teespring, who he is still banned from. It has been years since he's seen CP and his ex-wife, and it is unlikely he will ever see them again. For years, James had documented every waking moment of his life, and it's likely he will continue to do so until the day he dies. Perhaps he does it because he's too lazy to get a job. Perhaps he does it because he is too ignorant to see the failure he has become. Or perhaps he does it simply because it is fate.